Right, hello guys.
Hey.
We're doing another one, another of these top 10 things. Today on his list is 10 things we don't like about living in a motorhome. Sorry to sound negative, but there are things we don't like, there are things we like, but today things we don't like about living in a motorhome. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's give them number 10. So number 10 is no guaranteed internet connection. Now, you're going to find on these lists some things pop up time and time again for different ones. I think we might have covered this on the last one, but it needs covering again. It's something we don't like about living in a motorhome. You can travel for half an hour to get to the next site, the next spot, and find out you've no internet. Now, for us, what does that mean for us? We can't
go on the internet to see where we're going for our next destination tomorrow.
Yeah, we can't plan the next day.
Yeah.
We can't.
It affects your work.
It affects his work because we can't upload videos. We can't watch things on his phones because that's what we do on a night. We just watch his own thing, don't we? YouTube or whatever on his phones.
Yeah.
As I say, we like to watch things on his phone at night. If we haven't got a connection, we can watch a movie on his laptop, for example, as long as we've got enough power in his laptop. So it's a knock-on effect, if you like. So this, this isn't a list for everyone else. This is a thing we don't like about living in a motorhome. And we, mainly me, doesn't like the fact we don't have a constant good internet connection. Number 9.
Number 9. Sorry, I was swallowing.
Number 9.
No washing machine. Not having the facility of having a... What?
What? No, carry on.
Oh, doesn't this bother you?
I'm not bothered if we don't have a washing machine.
No.
In fact, I like the fact we've no washing machine because it means I don't have to listen to that racket in the background of a washing machine going on. I hate that. When I used to live in a house, that washing machine noise all day, and then you had the spin dryer. It used to do my head. Cut this.
So having no washing machine is a massive problem for me. Living in a house and being used to doing the washing every day, I enjoyed it, being able to have them facilities. And now we don't.
So it's not just not having a washing machine, it's the build-up of dirty clothes. You've just got to keep putting things into bags and then throwing them to one side. You've got dirty clothes at each side of the bed sometimes, and it's just a constant trying to keep on top of it. So yeah, I'll agree with you. No washing machine, that is a problem for us living in a motorhome.
But then when we do get the opportunity when we're on site, which is good, which is very rare as well, it then costs us quite a lot, doesn't it?
It can be £25 to do his washing, which is ridiculous, really.
A couple of loads of washing, so yeah. And number 8.
Number 8, the way people perceive people who live full-time in a motorhome or a van. People don't say it. We've never had it to his face, have we? But some people think you're gypsies, you're freeloaders because you're not paying tax, you're not paying national insurance. There's a lot of words they have for people who do this.
Yeah.
And it's just not fair. We're as good as anyone else out there.
I think being young as well doesn't help because then we are just look like a couple of travellers, don't we?
We are a couple of travellers.
We are, but
we're not ashamed to be travellers.
No.
And we shouldn't be ashamed. But I've seen it a lot in the news lately. There's a lot of people who are moving into actually living in vehicles. And a lot of the country aren't liking that in England, in Britain. And I think they're trying to crack down on it, or they're trying to think of a way they can stop us doing it. Which is unfair, Not everybody can afford to live in a house. Not everyone can afford to live in a van. Some people have to live on the street, but we're in between. We're in a van and we're happy.
We're grateful to have a roof over our head.
We are. So don't call us gypsies, just call us horrible people if you want.
No! We're not horrible.
Number 7.
Number 7. So for me, that's definitely going to be living in a motorhome can either be too cold or too hot. Do you agree?
Definitely, and it's very, very rarely in between.
Yeah.
Look, unbelievably, just as we're doing this, it is perfect temperature today.
Yeah, it's just
overcast,
mild.
it's just nice. But normally, especially in winter, it's too cold.
Yeah.
Summer,
and I suffer particularly with the cold, don't I? I hate it.
you hate the cold.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then even when it gets too hot, even opening windows and doors doesn't even seem to help the situation, does it?
Not always. You need, as long as there's a
No.
breeze, it helps. But if there's no breeze outside,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It will not cool down. You know, you can get fans and things like that, which I think we're getting some for reviews soon. So
Oh yeah.
maybe we can
that'll be
try that out.
interesting,
But we haven't got anything like that. So
Yeah.
too hot or too cold, it's a killer.
Yeah.
So outside it could be 17 degrees Celsius, but inside it could be 25 degrees Celsius. So it doesn't have to get too warm outside for this to get too hot.
Yeah.
It might be 0 degrees outside, but feel like -10 in here. It's, you know, it's you know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Ignore the temperature outside, the van will go to the extreme and follow it. If it's too cold outside, it gets colder inside. If it's too warm outside, it gets even warmer inside.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
We get you.
Yeah, they understand.
And number 6.
Number 6, planning. Time spent where to park. That's what I've put on my notes. It's not like if you plan to go away for a week, you can plan it before you set off, and then you set off and you're not worrying whatsoever about where you're going the next day. When you're full time in a van, you have to plan it each day as you're in the van. So you can wake up in the morning and spend an hour, sometimes up to 3 hours, trying to find somewhere suitable to go to enjoy yourself for the day, and then somewhere suitable to go shopping for the day, somewhere suitable to park that night. And that, it takes up a lot of your time just planning. So that's one thing I don't like about motorhoming. I don't know if that affects you so much, does it?
It does, because then I see you stressed. And like yesterday, for an example, you know, we got somewhere and it wasn't what we were expecting, so we had to spend another hour
Yes.
trying to sort out somewhere else. So it can overtake the day, can't it?
Yeah, we actually drove to somewhere yesterday which was on Park for night. Looked like a good spot. We got to within half a mile of it, and there was a sign saying no motors allowed down this road. So,
and permits only.
and permits only. So we had to completely replan our day.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of planning, and it can get annoying. It can though.
I know.
Number 5.
Expense. Living in a motorhome can be awfully expensive.
It's not just a matter of getting in your van and driving and spending no money.
No.
It costs you to get from A to B in petrol. Petrol's extremely expensive in Britain. It makes me laugh. People in America, we have a lot of American viewers, they moan about the price of petrol over there, or diesel, or gas as they call it. They pay a fraction of what we pay. We pay 2 or 3 or 4 times more than they do in America. And it's expensive. But it's not just your petrol, it's things like any kind of repairs you need to do. And having something so big needs more repairs than a normal car.
It still needs fuel as well, like gas and stuff like that as well. And then you have to pay for campsites as well.
Campsites, parking fees in car parks.
Which can be double.
That can be a lot of money. For
Last night, example, we had to buy 2 tickets, didn't we?
That was a good example. Yesterday it was £4 for 24 hours. We could stay overnight, but we had to fill up 2 bays, so that was £8 to park. So it's an expensive way of living, it really is.
Especially when you're trying to travel as well, which we're trying to do, and that's when then the petrol for us doesn't last no time, does it?
No.
So
It's expensive.
it is, yeah. And number 4.
Number 4 sort of continues from number 5, parking. In the UK, certain counties in particular, like Cornwall, they just don't cater for motorhomes. The roads are too skinny and small. The car parks are too small. A lot of car parks say no motorhomes simply because they're so small. Yeah, you know, it's not a big country. There's not a lot of room out there for cars, let alone anything else. So yeah, just parking in general is a big.
And the van being too big as well. It's not just the parking spaces, it's the fact that the van itself is a bigger vehicle than a car, isn't
Well,
it?
that's it. Like this list is 10 things we don't like about living in a motorhome. In a van, it wouldn't be too bad. Like we've got a van next to us now, a Globe car, very nice. I'd like one of them. But living in a motorhome is a completely different animal. It's like trying to park a truck inside a car space, if you like, sometimes. So yeah, just generally the size of a motorhome, trying to park it anywhere can be a problem within the UK.
Yeah.
And driving down the skinny roads. Tip number 3, and by the way, these aren't in any particular order. Tip number 3.
Toilet. The toilet. It just seems like it constantly needs emptying, and
3-4 days max.
yeah,
Normally.
and it can be difficult. And again, another expense because then you have to go on campsite to empty it. It becomes smelly, especially when you start moving.
Yeah, because the smell from the toilet, for some reason, comes through the air vents in the cab. This doesn't have air conditioning. I don't know if that would have made a difference, but the smell comes through there, and it can be quite gruesome sometimes.
We do buy the liquids and stuff.
Yeah.
And a matter of fact, we use double the dose than recommended.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. It's a toilet, and we've also had advice, why not get 2 cassettes? Now, for one, we couldn't afford the second cassette anyway. For 2, I think then you've got a double problem, haven't you? I feel.
I personally would like a second one, but
I wouldn't want a full one just sitting in the boot. Imagine on a hot day, and that's rank.
don't know. I think it'd be okay myself. I think it'd be well sealed in.
Oh, I don't know.
But on top of toilets, you've got things like your water. You need to fill your water up constantly. You have to keep emptying your water constantly. So you're always worrying all day, every day, about the toilet, the water situation, and the electric situation as well. So it's all things to consider, and it's things we don't like about living in a motorhome.
Number 2.
Number 2 would have to be the fact that you do not have 24 volts in a van, unless you're hooked up on a campsite or into somebody's house or something, or you have a generator. Can be a problem. We have got a generator, so we haven't got that problem. But it might be we're not in a space where you can really get the generator out because it's too noisy.
Yeah.
You might just want to charge your laptop up, because that's the thing which drains the battery the quickest, especially when you're editing videos on it. Can't use the microwave, can't use hair dryers,
Hair straighteners.
shavers, hair straighteners.
It's okay if you're just staying in a van for a night or 2, but when you're living in a van, that will get on top of some people, not being able to hair straighten your hair. And
It was a big problem for us when we started, because winter was just approaching. In summer, we're not finding it too bad, are we? Because we're constantly getting solar power, and it doesn't go down too quickly.
But you still can't plug in.
But you still can't use a
real plug.
A real plug.
Yeah. It'll be like sometimes you've started shaving and run out halfway through, haven't you? That's happened before.
Yeah. I didn't today, as you can tell. I had a lovely shave.
Yeah, he's all beautiful today.
We've been discussing my hair. Needs doing.
Tomorrow.
Today. So as I say, these are in no particular order. This is number 1 of the 10 things we don't like about living in a motorhome.
It's a constant way of living, basically. It's constant. There's no day off. You can't just get up one morning and say, oh, I just want a day off from this. I just want a break. You can't, because you have to plan where you're going for the night. It's just constant.
I suppose the only way you can have a day off is if you're on a campsite for a few days and you can literally just stay in bed all day if you really want to, but you're paying for it.
Yeah.
You know, you still have to pay to be on that campsite. If you're in a public car park or something, you can't stay for 2 nights, really.
But then you still got the constant way of living in a motorhome as well anyway. You know, sometimes it would be nice just to hop into a hotel room or a house.
Leave the motorhome and come back to it in 6 days.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And you haven't got that opportunity when you...
No, I was just going to say, sorry, having a holiday for us would probably be a week away from the motorhome.
Yes.
Not a week in Spain, it'd be a week away from the motorhome.
Probably. So that's number 1. That's it.
Yeah.
10 things we don't like about living in a motorhome. So there's just another little thing for you. You know, we've got loads of these lists and we're going to keep doing them.
Yeah.
Because it does interest some people. Might not interest you, but if not, there's plenty of other videos we make of completely different things which you will like. So anyway, we'll see you all on the next one.
And until then,
goodbye.
goodbye!